You know, there's something I hear a lot from friends my age. They'll say, "Wow, what do you expect? I'm over 70. This is just how it is now." Maybe you've even caught yourself thinking something similar. Maybe you've noticed your joints creaking a little more, or you don't bounce back from a long day like you used to. And it's easy to chalk it all up to getting older. But here's the thing. What if I told you some of the things we believe about aging aren't just wrong? They're holding us back. I used to believe those myths, too. I thought life after 70 meant slowing down, settling into a smaller version of myself. But then I started meeting people. Folks in their 80s running marathons, 90-year-olds painting masterpieces, even centenarians dancing at their birthday parties. And it hit me. Aging isn't a sentence. It's a story we get to rewrite. That's why today we're tackling 3 deadly myths about aging after 70. These are the stories we've been told, the ones that then sneak into our thoughts and whisper, "You can't do that anymore." But here's the truth. You don't have to believe them. And once we shine a light on these myths, you'll see just how much power you still have to live vibrantly, boldly, and joyfully, no matter what the calendar says. Let's start with the first myth, and this one's a biggie. After 70, decline is inevitable. Raise your hand if you've heard that one before. Raise your hand if you've heard that one before. As for medications, well-meaning family members, even doctors sometimes talk about managing expectations as we age. But here's what they're missing. Your body and mind aren't on a fixed timeline. Take my friend, Marta. Take it easy after a minor heart scare. But instead of retreating to the couch, she started walking. Just 10 minutes a day at first. Within a year, she was hiking local trails. Within a 5, she climbed a mountain. Marta's secret? She ignored the myth that decline is unavoidable and focused on what she could do. And science backs her up. Research shows that staying active, eating well, and keeping your brain engaged can slow, then sometimes even reverse so-called age-related changes. Now, does that mean we'll all be running marathons at 90? Maybe not, but it does mean we have more control than we think. The key is to stop seeing aging as a problem, to endure and start seeing it as a phase to navigate with intention. Which brings me to myth number 2. You can teach an old dog. Number 2. New tricks. Oh, how I hate that saying. Let me show you something. This is Helen. She took her first pottery class at 78. Before that, she'd never touched clay in her life. Now, at 82, she sells her pieces at the local farmer's market. And yet, see, she just started learning guitar. Here's the truth. Your brain stays hungry to learn, no matter your age. In fact, trying new things, whether it's a hobby, a language, or even a technology, strengthens your neural connections. It's like giving your mind a daily vitamin. But here's where the myth, when we believe we're too old to start something, we stop trying. We miss out on the joy of discovery and the brain-boosting benefits that come with it. So, what's the antidote? Curiosity. It doesn't have to be grand. Plant a garden. Try a recipe from a country you've never visited. Take a free online class. The goal isn't to master it. It's to remind yourself that growth doesn't retire at 70. Now, before we go further, I want to pause here. Because these first 2 myths, they're rooted in fear. Fear of losing ourselves. Fear of becoming a burden. Fear of irrelevance. But when we challenge them, something amazing happens. We meet people like George, who started writing poetry at 85 and published his first book at 88. Or Ruth, who took up yoga at 79 and now teaches a class at her community center. These aren't exceptions. They're proof that aging isn't about loss, it's about opportunity. But to seize it, we have to let go of the stories that no longer serve us. So let's keep going. Because the third myth is the sneakiest one of all, and it's probably been whispering in your ear without you even realizing it. That third myth I mentioned, it's the one that hides in plain sight, the one that sounds almost reasonable at first. You've probably heard it phrased like this: after 70, it's normal to feel lonely. It's just part of aging. Let me tell you, this myth breaks my heart more than any other. Because loneliness isn't a rite of passage, it's a warning sign we should ignore. Take my neighbor, Sam. After his wife passed, he spent months turning down invitations, convinced he'd just be a burden to others. He told me, at my age, everyone's busy with their own lives. Who'd want to spend time with an old widower? But here's what Sam discovered. Isolation isn't inevitable. It's a choice we can undo. One day, his granddaughter signed him up for a weekly chess club at the library. He grumbled about it at first, but by the third week, he'd made 2 new friends. A 78-year-old retired teacher who quotes Shakespeare during matches, and an 81-year-old former engineer who's teaching him to bake sourdough. Last I heard, they're planning a road trip to visit the World Chess Hall of Fame. You see, humans are like plants. We might not need the same kind of care we did at 25, but we still need light, water, and room to grow. Study after study shows that staying socially connected lowers risks of depression, heart disease, even dementia. But here's the kicker. It's not about how many people you know. It's about how deeply you connect. My BBS, calling a sibling you haven't spoken to in years. Maybe it's striking up a conversation with the cashier who rings up your groceries every week. Or my BBI. Or zoning a group, book clubs, bird-watching societies, even online forums about your favorite hobby. The trick is to start small and stay curious. If I'm not a joiner, what if I've always been shy? It's okay. Connection doesn't have to mean crowds. My friend Irene, she's 84, told me her social life revolved around her cat until she started volunteering at the animal shelter once a week. Now she's part of a team that saves dozens of pets every month. She told me, I go there to help the animals, but really, they're helping me remember how good it feels to be needed. And let's not forget technology. I used to think video calls were for teenagers, but my grandson taught me how to Zoom during the pandemic. Now, I have a standing coffee date every Thursday with my college roommate in Australia. We've watched each other's hair go gray, celebrated grandchildren's birthdays, and even cried together over lost loved ones. All through this little screen. Here's the truth. Loneliness is not a life sentence. It's a signal, a nudge to reach out, to try something new, to let someone else in. Yes, relationships change as we age. We lose people. Our circles might shrink. But that just makes the connections we do cultivate all the more precious. Now, I want you to try something this week. Bake a batch of cookies or buy some. No judgment here. And knock on a neighbor's door. Or call that friend you've been meaning to reconnect with. Or sign up for one event, even if you're nervous. Worst case, you'll have a story to tell. Best case, you'll remind yourself and someone else that life after 70 isn't about waiting for the world to come to you. It's about staying in the game. And if you're thinking, but I've never been the outgoing type, well, neither was Sam, neither was Irene. But here's the beautiful thing about this stage of life. You get to define what connection looks like. No rules, no pressure. Just you showing up as yourself. Oh no, when I started this journey, questioning what I thought I knew about aging, I'll admit, it felt a little rebellious. Like I was quietly rewriting the rules. Everyone insisted we're carved in stone, but here's what I've learned. The most vibrant chapters of our lives don't have to live, happening right now, if we choose to see them. We've walked through 3 myths together, stories that shrink our world if we let them. The idea that decline is inevitable. Mountain hikes laughed in the face of that. The notion that we can't learn new things. Helen's pottery studio and George's poetry proved otherwise. And the lie that loneliness is just part of getting older. Sam's chess club and Irene's rescue kittens turned that myth to dust. But here's where the rubber meets the road. What will you do with this? Because knowledge is just the first step. The magic happens when we act. So let's make a pact. You and I, let's pick one of these myths. The one that's been whispering doubts in your ear, and silence it this week. My DB, it's signing up for that watercolor class you've been eyeing, even if you've never held a brush. My DBA, it's inviting a neighbor over for tea, even if your hands shake a little pouring the cups. Or my DB, it's simply taking a walk around the block tonight, just to remind your body it's still capable of wonder. I've been keeping track of stories, yours, mine, people I've met along the way, like Frank, who started learning Spanish at 76 to talk to his granddaughter in her first language. Or Lila, who began training at 80 after being told she'd never recover from a fall. Their secret? They didn't wait for confidence to show up. They took one stubborn step forward, and confidence followed. The gift of this age, friends. We've earned the right to stop worrying about what's appropriate or realistic. Want to dye your hair purple? Do it. Want to write a memoir, adopt a rescue pup, or finally tackle that attic full of memories? The world is waiting. Now, I'd love to hear your story. Have you busted one of these myths in your own life? Or might be yet to try? Share it in the comments below. Let's create a chorus of I get it anyway. Moments to inspire each other. And if you found this helpful, pass it along to a friend. Who knows? You might be the nudge they need to start their own rebellion against these myths. Before I go, let's toast to something my grandma Ruth used to say. Honey, age is just the number of years the world's been lucky enough to have you. So, here's to more adventures, more laughter, and more proof that life after 70 isn't an ending. It's a grand, messy, glorious encore.